into it, and there's a number of series that we've completed on exploring the unknown. Have fun with those.
So do I take it to understand that we come here and we create all that we are, or our, what we feel is our identification, and that we are not here for a specific reason to accomplish something or to be something specific?
No, you're not here for anything. You're here to experience the experience of existence.
Mamma mia.
That's all that you're here for. Now, your ego personality, your mind, has created the direction. And the direction then is based on judgment. You see?
Well, I took it as though when a
Yes.
person gets what I perceive to be certain talents and gifts, proclivity in a certain direction, interest and passions in a certain direction, they seem to excel, and maybe because of their history, it points them in a particular direction, that it gives them joy to express that. I love when I do this to the wonders. Why do I do this to the wonders sometimes?
Because, dear friend,
yes.
you're into your mind, giving us a mind concept that is nothing more than a judgment upon judgment upon judgment of all the limitations that you're imposing on yourself. Look at yourself, Deborah. You are truly a brilliant essence. You're multi-talented. And by that we mean limitlessly talented. If you listen to our defining statements, the third defining statement states, I am limitless.
Right.
My choices reflect my limitlessness. So all the choices you've made are designed to take a limitless perspective of yourself and bring it down to the limited perspective that you call Deborah Dachinger, and that you yourself are saying to yourself, this is my talent and ability. Now, as interesting as your talents and abilities are as this personality you present yourself, they are not truly multifaceted the way you yourself are. So you could say to yourself, I have a passion, I have a desire, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm doing a radio show, I want to change the world. Wonderful, great, absolutely fantastic. But that's only one small, minute part of everything that you can do if you chose to.
Wow.
You see?
That just blows my mind. It really does.
But your mind, good. It's time you blow your mind. Because your mind is the one that's holding you back. Your mind is the part of you that's sitting there saying, you can't do this or you'll never survive. Don't try this, you can't survive. Don't try that, you'll never make it. You're not good enough. Your mind is the one that's created the judgments that hold you down. You think?
Amen.
Now, recently we had a conversation with you about something a little different. Something more unique to yourself. Something to do with blue and singing.
Yes.
May we?
Yes, you may.
So here you are saying to yourself, I'm a radio personality. I'm changing the world with my radio. Yes, I've done this experience. I've done that experience. I have a great deal of talent in the performing arts. And yet, how much of all of that talent do you exercise? Well, you say to yourself, well, I can't exercise it all the time because I don't have enough time, there's not enough hours in the day, I'm committed to this, I'm committed to that, I don't have enough help, I can't do it myself. But in actual fact, what's to stop you from singing the blues anytime you choose?
Nothing at all.
Except your mind.
Right.
And your mind is telling you that you're just not good enough, you don't have enough time, you don't have the energy, you don't have the vitality, you are getting old, you know. The voice box is changing. This is your mind having a conversation with you. You see the point?
Yes.
And our answer to your mind would be, don't you know that the voice box is like a fine wine? The older it gets, the more mellow it becomes. Do you see the point?
Yes. And just for edification and real vulnerability with the listeners, he basically just channeled a lot of my thoughts that no one gets to hear but me. So that's entirely accurate.
Yeah, of course it is. We know you. We know you intimately, dear friend. There isn't a thing about you that we don't know.
I'm so glad you're here.
Well, dear friend, good for you. The key for yourself is to realize that now, what would you want to do with this brilliant, brilliant person that you are. What do you want to do with her? Do you want to hold her down into a personality called Deborah Dachinger? Or do you want to use the personality as a minute expression of all that you are?
Well, I honestly would love to move into that space of all that I am. I know that's what my heart or soul longs for.
Yes.
And I do recognize, even in feeling towards that, the fear that comes up for me.
Of course it does. And this is where your mind is saying to you, are you nuts? Are you crazy? You want to go do what? You want to go out there and put yourself in front of a crowd again? Are you nuts? Remember what happened the last time? Remember, think about what's going to happen in the future? This is much safer. This is much better. You're behind a microphone. Nobody can see you. You're in an audience. You see? You're under control. What happens when you're out of control? That's your mind. And that's the mind of every listener that's listening. Every listener listening to your radio show is literally having the same dance with their mind on a daily basis. You see? So, our suggestion to you is you can go ahead and live your life that way. It's a wonderful way to live, isn't it? After all, it creates a little fear, or perhaps creates a lot of fear, and you end up living your life surviving fear. And you say to yourself, look at me, I have survived fear. I am fantastic. I am amazing. I am great. Do you see? And you say to yourself, wow, hey, I'm 95 years old, dying tomorrow, but I survived. I had a good life. Wasn't I good? And we would say to you, yes, that's great. That's wonderful. But you've spent 95 years battling fear and living in spite of it. Did that feel good? We would suggest you can say to yourself, you can justify yourself and feel it felt good, but did it really? Our suggestion to you is, why don't you try living a life without fear? Why don't you try just living without any limitations? Why don't you try literally living a life that expresses your brilliance? Now, some people would argue with us, yes, but if I do that, that means I can go out and kill people, I can do anything I want, and how is that going to be with society, and what if I harm somebody? And we would say to them, listen to the 6 defining statements that we've given. They define everything in existence. They define you. They define your personality, they define you, they define your soul, they define your mind, they define us. And the 6 statements are very simple. Existence is but an extension of yourself. Now think of that for a moment. Everything that you see around you is an extension of you. Everything that you create is an extension of you. Everything you interact with is an extension of you. Our being here was an extension of you. Second statement. I am sufficient. It doesn't say I'm lacking. It doesn't say I'm missing something. It says I'm sufficient. And it doesn't say, just because I don't get my $1.99 allowance at the end of the week, I'm not good enough. Does it?
No.
It says I am sufficient. The third, as we said, I am limitless. My choices reflect my limitlessness. It quite simply says, hey, you are truly an essence without limits. Why do you choose to limit those limits? You see?
Yes.
The fourth, this is the part that we love. This is where people argue with us and say, well, I can go out and kill, and so on. We would say to them, listen to the fourth statement. That which you are is that which I am. And that which I am is that which you are. Would you really choose to harm yourself? You see? And the fifth is a really interesting one. That which you choose, you do so out of joy. And people will say, there's no joy in choosing to be sick. There's no joy in choosing to be poor. There's no joy in choosing to be harmed or hurt or raped or killed, whatever. And we would say to you, of course there is. Because really, the joy came not from your ego personality and your mind. The joy came from your soul essence at the opportunity of being able to experience this experience of existence. That's your joy. Now, do you want to marry your mind with your soul? Then you'll know what real joy is. And the sixth and final statement, all that I am is love. All that you are is love. doesn't say anything else but that you are love, why would you then, in any way, shape, or form, attempt to reduce that?